real steady. Glass break plug.
Welcome to today's episode where we're talking about grandparenting while parenting. During this conversation today, we're going to talk about how my guest's life changed through a loss. And we're also going to talk about how she's dealing with this loss and the aftermath because she is a wife, she is an employee, she wears multiple hats, and she's also helping with her mom in this season of her life. So we want to share her story and then also be some type of hope to someone that is dealing with that same type of situation. So that's what the Ascend Room conversations are all about as we are 50 and plus years old, the resiliency, the bounce back in our lives, what life deals us, we know how to maneuver. Yeah, it might be some type of an adjustment that needs to be made, but we get through it. And so we thank Miss Paula Collier for being here today to share her journey and be somewhat of an encouragement to others. So thank you, Paula, for joining me today on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell, for the audience who may not know you, tell a little bit about yourself and so we can get to know the things that you do and who you are about.
Okay. Well, thank you once again for allowing me to be here today. I am from a family of three. I have myself, which is the oldest of my family, my sibling group, a sister and a brother. My brother, who is hearing impaired, he speaks sign language. And my mom, who's a single parent because my dad was a veteran and he's deceased. And I have two children. And I work full-time at Alger Middle School. I have worked several jobs and different positions and community government, city government affairs, and just have done a array of different careers and different opportunities that have been presented to me. And I'm just really blessed to have a great foundation in my church home, Messiah Baptist Church, where the pastor, Dr. Reverend Daniel Smith, is the pastor. So, yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Smith. Well, you have mentioned a lot of things and something that we share in common. You haven't mentioned that. You a proud member of
Delta Sigma Theta
Sorority Incorporated.
That's right.
So, yeah, thank you for sharing your background. And it sounds like you are a woman of many facets. Like you wear a lot of hats. Your life took a unexpected turn about 2 years ago. I remember getting the call where you got the call that your daughter had passed away. Can you share what that transition looked like for you and your family during that time?
That's a hard one. Even though no matter how much you prepare
Or you can't.
for a conversation, my daughter being 35 years old and two beautiful children, I got a call one night, like around 10 o'clock at night, and that to tell me that she had passed away. And it was kind of hard to believe because she was 35 years old and not sick or anything was wrong with her. However, I got the call, I got in the car, and we immediately ran to her house where her children and her were, and did not allow me to see her or anything. So I have yet to this very day to ever see her again. I never saw her after that moment, so I didn't see her then. So anyway, long story short, she did have a fentanyl overdose, which caused her to lose her life. Partying with friends, being just reckless and not necessarily making the right decision. Her children or at the time were 10 and 12. And it was very difficult to explain to them or to have them adjust to this new lifestyle that we all share now.
Yeah. And like I said, I remember that call, and I know based on the relationship you had with your daughter previously, the children, they were with you a lot, already. And so I know that was one of the biggest things that, yes, you were mourning the loss of your daughter, but that there was a greater responsibility because of
Absolutely.
those little ones who
Absolutely.
didn't know what really that meant. I lost a parent at 6, and so I know what that's like, to be without. And so you made that decision along with your husband. Tell us about him as well and how he was part of the decision, because you eventually got one child, which is Genesis, and your Aubrey, is it Aubrey?
Aubrey.
Aubrey, she went and she's living with another guardian.
Yes, she is.
So how are you guys maneuvering through that and, making sure that they have that time together? They're separate, but that they get to have that time together.
Absolutely. Everything, and I can't even go any further without saying I wouldn't even have my right mind if it had not been for God and how He has held me up in spite of everything, because He allowed me not only to deal with the loss of my daughter and adjust to this new lifestyle, but He allowed me to take a position of parent for my grandchildren. One, my grandson who is autistic, and two, my granddaughter who is now she's 14 and she's just doing a lot of things that she's making decisions that she's not really considering the outcome. So it's kind of scary for her trying to be a parent to her, and while she lives in another household, and he lives with me. It's been a challenge. So every day is a different day. Every day looks different. And with him being autistic, he demands a lot of my time. And my husband, he's really a trooper. He really is. I give him a lot of kudos because we passed like 2 ships in the night, really, because I have to raise them. So it's like, yeah, it's just.
And I've had a chance to meet them both, and Genesis is such a sweet little boy, and he's very smart. And I know a lot of it that you instilled in them as a grandmother, they're not going to depart from those ways. So I know you mentioned Aubrey, and the decision making that she's doing is not something that you are so proud of, right? But you know that you raised her. You did have a part of her life that was very impressionable in that time. So I know you haven't given up on her, right?
No, I have not.
So how do you spend time with her to ensure that you're helping her with those tough decisions that she's finding herself in?
Yeah. Actually, what I do for the most part is try to be a model who I want her to be before her. I try to always be there on holidays and every day. I see her often. I give her a monthly bus pass for her to go to school. I'm always going to her sports events because she likes to play. She's very athletic and she likes to play sports, and she likes to sing in the choir. So she was the girls' choir downtown Grand Rapids, the choral. And so I try to be involved with her activities and hobbies, even though the stepmom that she lives with, her stepmom, who was her mom's wife, she travels back and forth to Detroit a lot. So my daughter is often out of Grand Rapids, but she's in Detroit because they travel back and forth. So, but other than that, I do see my granddaughter quite often.
And I know as far as your occupation working at Alger, and I happen to be able to see this up front and up center because I'm now part of the Alger staff. So I get to see you working and I see how your love for children and how you want everybody to succeed. Tell me a little bit about how that helps you through this process of caring for your grandchildren.
I think it actually comes natural because I have such a love for community, and my passion really lies in equipping the community, decreasing barriers. And I see that as a bigger picture, not only just for the kids at school or for the community. I serve on the Community Relations Commission in Grand Rapids. I was appointed by the mayor. And so I'm always thinking about how we can come together as a community to collaborate in order to decrease barriers for those communities that don't have access to certain things or certain services. And so I look at the children the same way. I kind of like look at these students who don't have shoes, students who come to school with no socks. We have to provide them coats. So I have to reach out to these other organizations to find these things to make sure I have them available for the kids at school.
I know you do an amazing job as the chief
Community builder. Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
So also I want to talk a little bit about any voids that you have in your life and how are you filling them? Do you feel, because you're wearing so many hats, you're a wife, you're taking care of the grandchildren as a parent, you work, your mom, and I just love your mom. Your mom, you know, what is so great about your mom? She lives right across the street from you. How great is that?
It is.
How great is that? So how do you got to have something that maybe is lacking in some way. How are you maneuvering or balancing everything?
If I could name anything that's lacking, I would say me. My mom does live across the street, and I'm in this sandwich situation. My mom is should be 79, or she's 79, and she needs me quite often now in her life. She needs me, so I have to be there. I've been doing her laundry and helping her, and more often, and then helping my grandchildren, and also my husband. That's a big void, because I just can't find a way to stretch myself in that any further. Like I'm just like I don't know the opportunity when to step in. I don't know. I can't answer that question really because I don't know.
So, and that's the beautiful thing about women 50 and older in the platform of life series that we have to take time for ourselves because we can't pour. You've heard from an empty vessel, so you have to keep filling yourself. And so, and that's what I want you to see, that you do have to feel yourself in order to be pouring into others. And
Absolutely.
so,
Absolutely.
with your husband, also sometimes when you say that you guys are ships passing in the night, you know, that is something too that is probably a void. Would you say?
Oh, huge. Absolutely. We did go to Las Vegas in January for his birthday. We did 4 days in Las Vegas, and that was like such a great time because we don't
Get it.
we don't have time. We don't.
But you have to make time, right? So
Yeah.
that's one thing that you could say that you're learning to do is make time for Paula, right? And then also your spouse. I have a grandson, too, Kaylin and Braylon, and it's always great that when they come over, we see them and we send them back, right? But you don't get that opportunity. So it's a full-time thing, and it's, truly unfortunate, the loss of your daughter. I saw your daughter just before that all happened, and she was a great, her spirit. We were at your mom's birthday party. That's when I
Beautiful,
saw her, and
beautiful, yeah.
so I was very shocked, when you called and told me that news about that. But what I want you to do is speak to the audience about how you're navigating, because there are grandmothers out there that's taking care of their grandchildren. I know you said that you try to make sure they are involved in things, and I think that's a great thing. One thing that Pastor Jamon Glenn and we did a segment on honoring him and Lady Erica. They said they put their children in a room and just gave them whatever guitar, whatever they wanted to play with, and let them gravitate to whatever it is that they wanted to do. And then that kind of helped them to find what their purpose is and what they're naturally good at. And so by you saying that you try to put them in different things, that's great. So share with the audience some of the things that you're doing to help your grandchildren, maybe even sometimes a second chance. Like what we didn't do with our own children, you get that chance to do with your grandchildren. Could you share with the audience?
I will. One thing I do want to make plain and clear right up front is that I don't regret not one moment stepping in for my grandchildren and being there for them, because I could not imagine them somewhere where I would not have an idea of where they are and what they're going through. I do have a son. My son is 41 years old. He lives in an adult group home in Grand Haven, and I see him weekly. We went to see him yesterday because we didn't do a Sunday today because I had to be here. However, we are able to go visit our son, and I try to give my grandchildren some things to just keep their life full and keep them healthy and whole. We have a membership at the YMCA, and he loves that because he said, "Granny, I'm gaining weight." So I said, "Okay, well," because he'd be on the phone so much, he's gaining weight. So he's like, he wants to do some kind of sport. So he's autistic, but he's very
Bright.
very bright, very bright. So so I am able to pivot to involve myself with them so much until I do take away from other areas in my life, and that's not always good. But being a grandparent and you raising your grandchildren, I would just say keep God at the forefront. I walk through the valleys and the shadows of death, and I fear no evil, because I know God is with me. He provides for me everything that I need. He provides my day to day. I have to have a constant conversation with him to cover my family and my children under the blood of Jesus Christ. And I thank God because life could be so much worse, but instead he's allowing me to share this part of my life with my grandchildren. And I just pray, and my husband, he's not that he'll get over it, but because that's not right. But I just pray that our relationship continues to grow and develop. We've been together since we were in the 7th grade. I think what happens is we kind of get used to the regular humdrum, and we just take for granted one another because we have been together so long. And but I don't want to do that. I do love my husband very much, and so as we share this journey with raising our grandchildren, I want it to be a joy and not a sacrifice, not a painful thing that we're doing, but a joy, so that we're giving back to our kids.
And you said something that's very powerful in itself, and that's, you got to know Jesus Christ, and you got to know him and accept him as your personal savior. And I know we say that Jesus is the answer. He really is the answer. And if we have him in life and we have that relationship with him, he's going to work things out.
Yes.
He's going to do that for us because we are his children. And that's what we do.
He provides.
We take care of our children. One last thing before we go. how do you feel that you're preserving your daughter's memory? Are you doing anything that you feel like that really keeps her alive and keep her spirit? Anything that, some people do like memorials and different things.
Yeah, that is very true. One thing my grandson said to me, and it just hit me like, he said, Granny, I'm forgetting how she looks. He was 10 when she passed. He said, and I have pictures around the house. I didn't think about the pictures that I have around the house are all when she was a little girl, the family pictures. And I didn't have many pictures of her when she was an adult. However, he told me, Granny, I'm forgetting how her face looks a little bit. I said, well, no, you can never forget how your mom looks. So I got pictures on my phone. So I got to get those developed in order to have pictures. And I am celebrating a memorial for her. Unfortunately, I was robbed of giving her a funeral or a service because her wife had her cremated 4 days after she died, and I never was able to see her. So we were robbed of that opportunity. We had no knowledge of her being cremated. So we are planning a memorial service for her at the Sister Divas shop on Madison Avenue around her birthday, May 30th. So we're planning to do something like that.
How special. She's a May baby or was a May
May
baby.
30th.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
So I think you are on a journey that is continuing to build you. I mean, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You look amazing, beautiful. I'm glad to have you come on the show and share your journey with us and hopefully help someone that is going through the same thing as a grandparent. And the main thing too is what it sounds like. You gotta have some self-care and and not feel bad about it. And that's one thing I hear about women in our 50s, that we done so much for everybody else.
Everybody.
And now it's time for us to not feel like you're being selfish, but just really take care of yourself. We're in the last quarter, of our lives.
We
And
are.
so we really want to make it count.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'll be praying for you and your family and love to see them again. Like I said, I get a chance to see Jennison. I don't get a chance to see Aubrey, but I saw pictures, beautiful.
Yeah.
She's just growing up. So yeah.
Well,
So-
thank you very much for allowing me to come today and be able to
share
share
your
this.
story. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So once again, we thank you all for watching and being a part of a Sin Room conversation. Stay tuned for our next episode next week.
Keep it steady. Real steady.